Hello, today we are going to learn about Lambda functions and how they work with built-in functions in Python. In the previous lesson, we learned about Lambda functions, which are short and temporary functions that do not require a name. Today, we will explore three important functions that are commonly used with Lambda functions. These are map, filter, and reduce. First, let's start with map. The map function is used when we want to apply a certain operation to every item in a list or a sequence. Instead of using a loop, we can use map to apply a function to every item in just one line. For example, let's say we want to find the cube of numbers from 0 to 4. Instead of writing multiple lines of code, we can use map with a Lambda function. The result will be 0, 1, 8, 27, and 64. Now let's move on to filter. The filter function is used when we want to select only certain items from a list that meet a specific condition. This function takes a function and a list, and it returns a new list containing only the values that satisfy the condition. For example, if we have numbers from 0 to 6, and we want to filter out only the numbers between 3 and 5, the filter function will return a new list that contains only the number 4. Now, let's talk about reduce. The reduce function is used when we want to apply an operation repeatedly to reduce a sequence into a single value. It is useful for tasks like summing or multiplying a series of numbers. For example, if we want to add numbers from 1 to 10, instead of using a loop, we can use reduce, which will continuously add the numbers together until only one value remains. The result will be 55. Now, let's move on to our first practice exercise. We will start with map. We will create a new list containing the square of numbers from 5 to 9. The result will be 25, 36, 49, 64, and 81. Next, we will use filter to select only numbers less than 3 from a range of 0 to 10. The result will be 0, 1, and 2. Finally, we will use reduce to multiply numbers from 3 to 5. The result will be 60. Now let's move on to our second practice exercise. We will use map to calculate the cube of numbers from 1 to 5. The result will be 1, 8, 27, 64, and 125. Next, we will take a list containing the numbers 1, 2, and 3 and use map to calculate the cube of each number. The result will be 1, 8, and 27. Now let's use filter. First, we will filter out only the numbers greater than 2 from a list containing 1, 2, and 3. The result will be 3. Next, we will filter out only the positive numbers from a list that contains -2, -1, 1, and 2. The result will be 1 and 2. Now let's move on to our final practice exercise. We will use reduce to sum numbers from 1 to 10. The result will be 55. Next, we will use reduce to multiply numbers from 5 to 9. The result will be 15,120. Now let's try another approach. Instead of reduce, we will use map and the built-in sum function to calculate the sum of numbers from 1 to 10. The result will still be 55. Finally, we will use map and a loop to multiply numbers from 5 to 9. The result will again be 15,120. To summarize, today we learned about map, filter, and reduce, and how they work with Lambda functions. The map function applies a function to every item in a sequence. The filter function selects only certain values that meet a condition. The reduce function applies an operation repeatedly until only one value remains. These functions help make code shorter and more readable. That concludes today's lesson on Lambda functions with map, filter, and reduce. Thank you, and I will see you in the next session.